Hello and welcome to this Affinity photo tutorial. In the Facebook group PIRC Affinity Design and Photo, James Holdsworth asked for help with this image. I've got this image in Affinity Photo, and his main problem is this old photo of which I believe is his granddad amongst his granddad's fellow soldiers. This old image has been discoloured, with these orange, sort of a bit over orange on the skin and the purple and blue areas on the uniform. And James wanted some help and advice on how to get rid of especially these blue areas. Now, I'm not going to claim that I'm particularly any good at restoring old photographs, or that the way I'm going to suggest is probably the best way to do it or the proper way to do it. It was just my way of doing it. So if you are having similar problems with an old photograph, hopefully this will be able to help. Now this is how I got it to end up looking. There is still sort of some hints of blue and purple in there, but I think by and large it certainly looks much better than this version here, which the original version. So I'm going to show you how I did it, and like I said before, this may not be the best way of doing it, and I'm also not going to be taking too much time sort of faffing about getting it 100% right. I'm just trying to show you the general direction to go in. How you fine-tune that I will leave up to you, because obviously if it's your own photographs you want to take a bit more time with it. So basically all I'm going to use is the HSL adjustment. So if you click on this half black and white circle down here and come up to HSL, we have the HSL panel. At the opening of it, it will start on all colours, which is this channel here. But you do also have the red, yellow, green, blue, or cyan, blue and magenta channels. So what we can do is select one of these channels. So as this is the first one, I'm going to pick the red channel, and obviously this will then select the red area. But you can use the picker tool, which is this button here, and then come in and select a colour that you want to work on. So let's try that sort of purple there, and as you can see it's moved from the red up to the purple area, and we have a sort of purple colour there. So I'm just going to desaturate the purple, and how far, I mean you could go right down to 0, and on this particular image it probably wouldn't really matter whether you're anywhere between 0 or -100 and probably -50, but I'll leave it about there. So I'll then click on the yellow channel, and where there's obviously an area of colours that haven't been affected, again I will select the picker tool, and if I zoom in, there's a sort of dark blue here, so I click there, and then we desaturate that area and that colour. Alright, that one's not so bad. Still got some hints of purples, sort of lighter purples and mauve. So we'll come to what would be the green channel. Again, the picker tool, and where's probably the biggest area. Let's try about there, and then desaturate that colour a little bit. Right, now can't see any sort of really major blue or purple areas that are left. So let's have a look at the skin tones. This is a bit orange, so I'm going to select the cyan channel, get the picker, click on this chap's hand colour, and then lower the saturation on this. I'm not going to go so mad with this one, I just want to sort of knock the orange out a little bit. I'll come down to about -20 in the saturation. Let me just zoom out again. And if I just turn that on and off, hopefully you can see that it may not be a brilliant improvement, but it is an improvement on sort of the very orange and the purple. So like I said, you can then, I've got two other channels left here that I could use to try and get some of these other colours, sort of blues and oranges, knock them back a bit. I mean that skin colour is still a bit over orange, but I don't want to sort of take too much orange out of the other faces. Now the one last thing I will add to this is, if I turn this on and off, you look at this hat up the top here, this is much redder when before I added the mask, mainly because I knocked back the orange in the skins. So what I will do is, if I get the paintbrush tool and it's set to black and I paint on the mask, I can just paint over the cap and bring back the gold in the badge and the red in that area there. So that, I think, I'll leave the HSL adjustment part there. Now if you want to take it a step further, you could add a new pixel layer, and again we're on the brush tool, and I will set the colour by using the picker tool up here, and I'll click and drag this down and pick a colour from a uniform area. Let's try, or an area of the uniform I should say, and then make that the colour of the brush. And I'm going to change the blend mode of this layer to colour, and like I said, I'm not going to be going too mad with the how precise I'm being here. You would do this probably a bit better, and I'm just going to paint over some of these areas that I've desaturated and try and bring back a bit of colour and help knock out some of that purple areas that were on some of these uniforms. Probably would be better. I'm going to stick with using the one colour basically, but you might do better to sort of colour pick from different areas of the uniforms to get a different look that would match better than I'm doing here. But you get the idea. So desaturate the areas that have been discoloured, and then bring back a certain amount of colour, the correct colour, by adding a new layer above it and making the blend mode colour. And basically that is it. If I zoom out and if I turn, you can, it's hardly noticeable that what I've done there with that layer, but it is more noticeable what I've done with the HSL adjustment. So like I said at the beginning, this is probably not necessarily the best way to do it, how people who do this all the time would do it, but it is my sort of quick workaround to try and improve the image for James. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.